knew I could do it.
I knew things about a costume and I assumed that it was conclave related, but I didn't know for sure until I walked in and you were sitting there just like this. And I just got to say, good job.
Thank you so much. You look amazing as well.
Thanks so much.
You're here to perform El Mal. Let's begin your performance, Amanda.
Wait, so before we started recording, you asked me if I could name Zoe Saldana's character in Amelia Perez, and I am dressed. I don't know if I want to say in tribute to.
Yeah.
Listen, Zoe Saldana, very talented. She's probably going to win an Oscar.
No, this is your favorite movie of the year,
definitely.
and you're representing
and I
it.
think that like everything it represents, geopolitically, sociopolitically, is spot on.
Yeah, and good tweets. The tweets were excellent.
Yeah, and good music, of course,
Absolutely.
including El Mal. You asked me if I could name her character's name or any character's name in the film. And then you added, aside from the titular character. And had you not said that, I wouldn't have even gotten to Amelia Perez. But you told me the character's name, and I do not remember it.
It's Rita Mora Castro. You're dressed as Rita Mora Castro right now.
Okay, great.
I'm dressed...
Once again, culturally sensitive.
Yes. She is one of the leading characters from Amelia Perez, which is up for Best Picture tonight and 12 other Academy Awards.
Yeah.
I am dressed as Dean Lawrence, Ralph Fiennes' wonderful character from Conclave.
Yeah.
I feel saintly right now.
Yeah.
I gotta say, we're on the verge of the Academy Awards. This is what you might call a pre-show. We have drinks. We promised drinks, and we do have drinks. What are you drinking?
This is a little full. This is a Campari soda with LaCroix. What did we decide? I think it is actually LaCroix.
LaCroix.
But this isn't sponsored, so, they don't get it to have pronounced correctly. I'll probably top this off as the night goes on. Thanks for bringing me the Campari. Because,
you're welcome.
We were out at my house.
Yeah. Wonder how that happened.
How did that happen? And then I went to Target this morning for diapers and Campari and only got one of those things.
Wow.
So,
you really can't have it all, can you? I'm just having an old fashioned like a man. I'm drinking a rye old fashioned.
Great.
I forgot the simple syrup at home, so just had to put a little sugar water action going.
There you go.
A little hot water, some sugar, made it work. I'm drinking Pinhook rye, no free ads, but Pinhook, want to say shout out to them for all the work that they do. And thank you to my friend Rembert for getting me that bottle.
Hi, Rembert.
Hey, Rembert.
Rembert, are you watching? Let us know in the comments.
Rembert, also a man known to wear a costume from time to time, so maybe this is in his honor.
Can I say that my friend B, who is almost 2, is watching? They just sent me a photo. So B, if you're watching, hi B, I love you.
Thank you for your patronage.
B is not my child. My child is hopefully still asleep.
My child is at the ballet right now. True story.
B, what is she singing?
Peter Pan.
Really?
Yeah,
where?
In one of the playhouses on the east side of Los Angeles. Yeah.
Oh my
gosh. So she's definitely not watching us here.
Okay.
But other people are. So we have to talk about the Academy Awards.
Are you sure?
We're going to talk. We'll talk for 15 or 20 minutes about our predictions, the vibes, how we're feeling, what we've heard over the weekend, if anything.
Yeah.
And then we'll take questions from you. Bobby Wagner is here. He's going to be taking your questions in the chat on YouTube. Don't email Bobby directly at shitlord@gmail.com. That's his email address.
This is the new apartment setup. It's looking good.
It sure is. I'm using some artwork behind me to strategically block some boxes and So for production design. No, I was just saying to Bobby right before we began recording, I don't think, at least since we've been doing this, and honestly, in my memory of following the Academy Awards, I can't remember a time when I didn't have any confidence, really at all, in any of the big 4 races. In Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Actress. And as is custom, I'm in mega second-guessing mode.
And you're also revising yourself and tweeting out to all your friends, I've actually changed my mind, which you do every year,
Yes.
and I have been thinking is sort of your attempt to have it both ways.
Well, I'm not changing any predictions.
So
I'm standing on business.
Well, I didn't know that was an option.
It's not an option, and I'm not changing anything. However, I have changed my mind.
When did you order this costume?
3 months ago.
Okay, so...
When I first pitched you the idea.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
And when I also was like, I guess I'm going to order this suit.
So it has nothing to do with tonight's events, or does it?
Right, because...
Hits vape pen.
You now do think that your prediction is incorrect.
I think Conclave could win. Now, here's my concern about
I think it could.
I think it is more likely to win right now. That's how. Yeah, I started feeling that yesterday, and I feel it right now. Now,
what?
I'm an idiot.
Literally,
I'm literally
nothing
an
has
idiot.
changed except your mind. Like that.
Yes.
The thing is that whatever vibes are out there
Mm-hmm.
are immaterial. Because from Wednesday to yesterday, the only thing that happened was like you looking at your phone a lot, you know, and a bunch of other people. But voting's
a
closed.
lot of it was texting.
PricewaterhouseCoopers has been tallying. They've got the little briefcases.
Yeah, I mean that should be all. Hopefully they've settled all the votes by now. I hope they're not still counting at this moment. I think that the thing that is in the back of my head, both options are wrong. It's either like Honora's going 4 for 4. Sean Baker's going 4 for 4, maybe even 5 for 5 with Mikey Madison, or Honora's maybe getting 1. That and I can't get those two potentialities out of my head. I feel like Doctor Strange right now. You know, there's one.
I
one
think
chance.
that you need to have a little more confidence in general, and it's pretty rare that I say that to you. So
that's the thing is I never have this problem.
It's like once a year.
Yeah. Yes. The mediocre white man only fails on Oscar night.
I do think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. I am not as.
But you predicted pretty across the board for Honora.
Well, I think you're confusing what I thought will win and should win. But I was pretty consistent, and I did pick it in both picture, director, original screenplay. And I think that's it. Not in editing.
Mm-hmm.
And I really do think it's going to be Demi Moore. I mean, I could be wrong.
So that is, if you want to get into that race right now, we can.
Yeah, but
that
that's
is
where
the
you're
race
itchy?
in particular where every person that I have talked to who is either works on, strategy campaigns or even the handful of voters that I know are like, it's Mikey. I talked to Bill Simmons yesterday. He said it's Mikey.
Okay.
Not that Bill is a voter per se, but Bill knows a lot of people who do vote.
Okay.
And I don't know. I think that there is something in the air about this seems settled quality of Demi Moore. People have been citing a couple of recent examples that this race feels similar to. One of them is Sylvester Stallone in Creed, where he dominated the precursors all the way down the line, won many critics' prizes, and then it got to the big night, and it became clear, obviously, that he was not as beloved by the industry, and he lost to, I believe, Mark Rylance for Bridge of Spies. There was another example of this, too. I'll quickly cite it. Mickey Rourke for The Wrestler also won many precursors and eventually lost. I can't recall who he lost to off the top of my head, but the sort of popcorn actor who is having a moment at the end of their career is not a guaranteed pathway to victory.
I hear you, though I think even in terms of like popcorn actor and the vibe and the feelings towards the people, like Sylvester Stallone and Mickey Rourke are in a slightly different category than Demi Moore. And I'm not going to, cast any aspersions, do any character assassination, but I think it's notable at SAG Awards, that entire room stood up for Demi Moore. Yeah. And even if you want to talk about Mikey winning at BAFTA, and then there is obviously the Fernando Torres Brazil spoiler, I think those cancel each other out a little bit.
So what I have been, the other thing that I was hearing yesterday was the possibility of Demi Moore and Mikey Madison canceling each other out and Fernando Torres filling that gap. Because Fernando Torres, she's only basically competed in one of these races and she won for Best Actress in a Drama at the Golden Globes.
Again, that was in a much smaller voting body, which, with respect to all our many Brazilian listeners, and I hope you guys are listening, and I'd love to come visit again sometime, they were, I think, more represented in the Golden Globes voting body than I think they are in the Academy at large. I could be wrong.
Okay, so I think what I'm trying to illuminate here, and this applies to Best Actor as well, where you're saying SAG matters for Demi Moore, but does it not matter for Timothée Chalamet? I don't really know. All four of these races, the other thing that is it has got very noisy this weekend that I kept hearing over and over again was Brady Corbet and Honora. Yeah. Honora goes Best Picture, Brady Corbet goes Best Director.
I think that's really popular.
Which is
possible.
Feels very possible. And it feels like a lot of these races are like 52-48, 53-47. This has fallen off. Should I take it off?
I should have brought you a bobby pin. No, it's fine.
Oh, that would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel good. I feel loose. I feel like come what may.
Yeah.
Like if I'm wrong, I don't give a fuck. What's going to happen? I'm going to get fired for being wrong on this stuff?
If you don't,
I thought Get Out was going to win in 2018. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I know, and this does have similar vibes of you changing at the last
It
minute
does.
and then being like, I'm panicked, but
I'm not.
I'm
in this
excited.
case, I'm not overreaching on my prediction. My prediction is still Lenore to win Best Picture.
Mine is as well. Can I tell you how I spent a lot of my yesterday when I was not at the playground and such?
Mm-hmm.
Which was answering my friends Katie and Becky's gambling texts.
Okay.
And this was really great. They went to New Jersey. I don't know why they went to New Jersey. They live in New York. They went to New Jersey and they were like, we are going to make some money.
Okay.
And so I found myself...
Not the year to do this.
No, but it was interesting because I found myself interrogating my own picks. And communicating to them, well, I picked this, but I think this is good value, and this, and
Okay.
we identified a couple of things, but in the end, I felt pretty confident. I don't think I'm gonna go have a perfect run,
Oh, I definitely won't.
but
I'm predicting 16 out of 23 for myself.
I don't know if I would revise anything. And even with them, I was like, okay, well, here are a couple of upsets. We also tried to do a parlay.
You didn't get involved in the shorts here, right? No shorts predictions, because shorts is just a nightmare.
But Katie, so Katie is the gambler, as you know. Katie, our Nora correspondent.
I mean, shout out to Katie, one of my faves.
Shout out to Katie B's mom.
Yeah.
So Katie was like, I actually would like to go below the line and really get in the mix. And so we were talking about like, is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes like a good value in visual effects?
This is not. You have a problem. Seek help. This is not a good idea.
I think editing was a real. And then we tried to parlay. I'm trying to remember the two. Oh, I think I said, well, you could do this parlay of if a Real Pain wins an original screenplay, that suggests a broader weakness for a Nora, and then you could go Conclave in Best Picture if you wanted to get in
I
the
think
mix.
that's a good value.
I don't think that happened. I don't think she was
She
able
didn't
to
make that
place
bet.
that.
Okay.
But I think she wanted to.
Okay. I mean, to me, the I think Fernanda Torres is the best value odds wise right now because there's a real chance that she could win. Mm-hmm. I also think The Brutalist at 7-1 for Best Picture. Is
Oh,
very
do you
possible.
think so?
It's very
Okay.
That's a good value.
Katie, if you're watching and you were watching like 20 minutes ago, you can bet on The Brutalist.
Well,
I told her no this
'cause
morning.
all
I
the
said I don't
money-
think it's likely.
All the money is going away from it right now.
Okay.
And the thing is like I don't know what the hell the Academy is anymore.
Okay.
And that's been some. It's funny. Matt Bellany in his Puck newsletter this week wrote about something that I talked a lot about at the conclusion of last year's Academy Awards, which is that the Oscars is so international now that all precedent has been shattered.
Right.
That all everything we think could or should happen. For example, a movie like Conclave winning or a movie like A Complete Unknown winning. I don't know.
So you're you're going so far out that you think A Complete Unknown is back in the mix?
I don't know. I mean,
you were very confident.
No,
on
I don't. No, I
Wednesday.
don't. No, I'm not saying A Complete Unknown. I don't think
Okay.
A Complete Unknown is out. I think A Complete Unknown is going 0 for 8. I don't even think it's winning sound. I could be wrong, but I don't even think it's winning sound.
I don't think it is either. We didn't
think
pick
it's
it, but I did.
Irishman this
I
year.
did identify that as good value.
Okay. I think it's a really, really hard year to bet. I think my track record in recent years is like 18, 20, 19, 18. Like I'm usually in that zone with my predictions. This year, if you told me I got 12, I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
I'm prepared for it too, but I might be overconfident because like the other night I was like, what if I sweep? What if it
Sweet,
happens?
23 for
What if I
23?
sweep? What happens?
Nothing. You get to sit here with me immediately after the show and we talk on the pod. But I say congratulations to you if you do it.
Thank you.
It's very difficult to do.
No, I don't think I will.
The highest level pundits almost never get 23. In fact, since
I know
we've been
that's
doing
because
this, I don't know
we do-
any who have.
We do a lot of overthinking. We do a lot of
yeah.
last minute,
I'm guilty of it for sure. And then also the thing that has been happening is I was just explaining this to my wife this morning. Pre-2015, I just think it was a lot easier to predict. I think it was a lot easier to know. It was only 3,000 people. There was a certain kind of movie that usually worked. Also, there was so much transparency with the campaigns and sort of like who was out in front that even the surprises were not that surprising. I'm going to take this off because it keeps sliding off.
Okay.
Godspeed.
Did you learn what it's called?
It's called My Hat. So anyway, nowadays I find that it is a little bit more challenging to predict, but I don't know.
Just an update here. Katie texted me. She is watching. The books wouldn't let her do that parlay because they know it's correlated, she says.
I see.
Okay.
They're very smart.
I was proud of myself for understanding the parlay and being able to suggest that. I hope that Bill Simmons would be proud of me.
Absolutely, he would. Well, all those years of wagering on the Dodgers, like a feckless Atlantan who has completely ceded territory. Okay.
You guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can. Hi, Amanda, Sean, it's Kevin. I'm just doing a test with
Oh,
Bobby.
so hi, Kevin. We're live. So, yay, this is fun. What's up?
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna keep going.
Okay. Any other races feel wide open to you, or like you maybe have second thoughts?
Maybe I shouldn't have done Diane Warren in original song,
Okay.
but
That was your one real reach, I
well,
thought.
maybe that's gonna lose me my sweep.
Okay.
But
Okay.
wouldn't
That would
be
be sweet if you
wouldn't
went
that be
22 of 23.
No, wouldn't it be incredible if that is actually what got me my sweep? If I was like the lone person on the mountain being like,
These are the kinds of moves
Yeah.
you have to make to do it. I thought it was bold and I loved it.
Amelia Perez in International was a little bit of a we'll see. I was out there. I'm questioning it. It also won like every single César award on Friday night. It is French and it is a French person's understanding of the world. So
is.
we'll see. I don't know if I want to redo it, but I don't know. Maybe that won't go that
Okay,
well.
you do have some doubts, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
You do have some doubts. Despite this El Mal getup,
Yeah.
you're feeling a little concerned. I don't know. I don't feel good. It doesn't really matter. I think it's going to be a really good show. I'm not going to concern troll, but the ratings are going to probably be way down on this telecast. Just,
What are you gonna
just
do?
something we got to just
that's-
accept. Not a big deal.
Ratings are down on everything
They are.
except football.
Correct.
Yeah.
Football. Jets have $75 million in cap room. How do you feel about that?
Knox has just taken to just yelling Saquon Barkley, like every night before we go to bed.
Man.
There was a while there where he thought Saquon Barkley was Tom Cruise's name in Top Gun Maverick. So that was also like we had to sort through a lot.
Things that happen in
Yeah.
Amanda's house.
It's just kind of like what's going on here. But it like took a while to untangle it.
I would love to root for a Saquon Barkley. That would
Okay.
be magical. Okay, we've been going about 20 minutes. You want to do some questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Robert, have you been getting questions in the chat?
Yeah, we've been getting questions, but apparently we were having some issue with my audio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to vamp for a couple seconds here, and we're going to check the chat to see if we can hear what I'm
You're
saying.
gonna
Worst,
vamp?
worst case scenario, Bob, you can just Slack me the questions and I can read them and I can credit
You don't want me
with
to?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay, a
You don't
friend
think
of
so?
mine just texted saying that they're watching and they love me and they think Diane Warren will win, which is very exciting.
Wait, is it Diane Warren who texted you?
No, so unfortunately, in addition to me not saving my contacts because of cloud issues, this is also a new computer. So it's like there's no history. So I have no idea who texted me, but whoever it is, I love you too.
You
and
just
thank
received
you.
a random text message that says,
Well,
I love you.
Like, so no,
You're
no,
doing
no,
great,
it's-
sweetie.
It's from someone I know, but I don't have any of the
Sure,
names
yeah.
saved.
This sounds like
and
a
this
chat
is
GPT
it's
situation.
a new computer.
Yeah.
You know?
I keep getting
So-
texts that say, I love you.
I,
Curious. Very curious.
We've got affirmative. We've got
oh,
affirmative
Marissa, I
confirmation.
wonder. I love
Okay,
you.
okay. Hi,
Thank you.
Marissa.
How's
Hello.
that? We good? Bobby, you ready?
Son Al Gaib, you've got it in your mind's eye.
Uh-huh.
Timothy Chalamet holding that blade.
Okay.
He's vicious with that blade.
I guess so, but he is also quite small. You know?
He is.
And is the street brawl happening on a worm in the sand, or is it like a new street terrain? Is he
Great
familiar
question.
with that?
Great question.
The suit's not helping
Right.
him.
Take Timothy off the sand.
Right.
Can he hang on pavement?
He has learned his environment, but
Okay.
is this
Okay, so
the
what
right
are you pitching?
environment? Okay, well now I'm trying to remember what the rest of the Best Picture nominees
I mean,
are.
Cardinal Tedesco, of course, in Conclave.
Sure,
He's
but
vicious.
are you allowed to like choose who you put forward from Conclave?
Furthermore, Stanley Tucci, this is a war.
What Stanley Tucci doesn't win in Conclave. Spoiler, sorry.
He doesn't win.
So
but he
I don't
fights.
think that he would win. No, not really.
He pivots his
no,
alliances
he's
elegantly.
like, no, in the main scene, he's just like, I'm not really going to fight this much. And they're like, you got to throw some elbows, buddy. And he's like, no, I'm above throwing elbows.
Yeah. Gosh, is it Bob Dylan? Because he doesn't care. Come what may to him. Bob is fearless. Bob will say, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. And then he'll say, let's plug in. I ain't going to go to Maggie's farm no more.
That's true.
He's got all the juice.
I'm still here. Probably not. Wicked. She has superpowers.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Elphaba winning in a street
good
fight,
or bad.
very plausible.
Right. See, that's
she's very strong.
right. And again, adapts to all environments. It could be that. I mean, you know, Honora, Annie.
Mm-hmm. I'm pivoting Harrison Van Buren. You could hire all the thugs to handle anybody in a street brawl. Okay, Bobby, what's next?
What's next? Well, apparently my audio cut out when I was reading that question, so let me just read it real quick for the chat.
Okay.
That was, if all the Best Picture nominated films were involved in a street brawl, who would come out on top? I like your answer of Lisan Al-Gaib. I think he's got that taken
Thank
care
you.
of.
I will repeat all of your questions as well in case anyone can't hear you going forward.
Okay, great. The next question we have comes from Andrew. What year do you prefer as a viewer versus as a podcaster? 1, this year, where so much is up in the air, or 2, an Everything Everywhere All at Once style year, where so many races seem predetermined weeks in advance?
Okay, the question is, which kind of Oscar year do we prefer? One where it's very clear where the direction is heading, a la Everything Everywhere All at Once, where that was done and dusted 3 months in advance, or a year like this where the doubt has crept in.
Yes, but the question in specific referenced an Everything Everywhere where All at Once type year when it's a lock very early on.
Right. So I guess as a viewer or as a podcaster, you want to be right. You're on the record every week. You want to say, I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, but that was really, really boring. The Everything Everywhere year, and also you were not present for that one, right? You were. No, I was
leave.
back for the Oscars, but the movie itself came out in March.
That's right.
So that's the other
was.
thing. It was like a full year of talking about a movie that we knew was going to win.
Mm-hmm.
That you know, the thing about it being one pick so early in advance is like if you don't love the movie, then you're just kind of like. And here's Jamie Lee Curtis, you know? So I think I prefer this mix-up year, even if I'm going to be totally wrong, because there's more to talk about.
I think I'm with you. I think it's more fun to talk about. We've talked about it a lot. Even though this year was shorter, this season felt a little longer to me. I think part of that was because a lot of the precursors got delayed.
Mm-hmm.
So it just has felt like long but also compressed at the same time, where like the last 6 weeks in particular has just been very noisy on the awards front, but there's just a lot of more confusion this year in part because of that. So I don't know, it's going to be I'm more looking forward to watching this telecast than I was certainly in 2023 for the Everything Everywhere All at Once. Barbenheimer year,
Yeah, I was going to say last year
it was a good show, but it was boring.
Yeah, but it had the I'm Just Ken. It had fun stuff.
Yeah, the telecast was good. I thought Kimmel was good.
Yes.
But I didn't think the awards were interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, honestly, when I'm Still Here wins Best Picture, I'm gonna be like, everything is in play right now. I have no idea what's gonna happen. Okay.
Can everyone hear Bobby now? Do you know, Bobby? We don't have access to the chat. They can't. Great.
Yes,
okay, so I just like to tell every single loved one in my life that you can stop texting me. But thank you guys for your concern.
Okay, Van says he's in the chat. Did Van send any questions, Bob?
This velvet
I think
suit is
Van
really
is in the chat.
hot.
I believe Yassi's in the chat. I
Wow.
think Jack Sanders might be in the chat.
Oh my God.
The chat might just be full of only
Okay.
Ringer employees. I'm not sure.
Alex Ross Perry told me he was going in the chat just to troll me. So let me know if ARP comes through as well.
Thank you to Alex Ross Perry for all of his many works. And
My
for
my
trolling.
sister Grace just texted me. She said our outfits are fire.
Thank you,
So,
Grace.
Thank you.
Hi, Grace.
Yeah, I
When's
agree.
Grace coming to visit? What's up for spring break?
I don't know.
We
She's
getting a visit or
no
is she...
spring break. She graduates in May.
What the? What?
What? I know.
Grace!
Grace moved to California. for Christ's sake.
Congratulations! But also, what the hell?
What the hell, indeed. We're all getting older. What's next, Bobby?
I'm so hot.
Joseph wants to know.
Yeah.
Is Amanda aware of how comically large her water bottle looks? It's very important to me
Yes.
that she knows
Okay.
how
So
comically large her water
thanks
bottle
for
looks.
joining everyone else. This is the water bottle. I bought this water bottle in a vulnerable moment in January. And I just love it. And I bring it everywhere. And it was $10 at Target. It comes in several colors. And here's what's nice about it. You don't have to refill it as often as you do another water bottle. And then I find this handle very ergonomic. And then also, I guess you could work out with it. So yeah, I know. I'm in on the joke. And this water bottle rules. Thank you.
I don't have a water bottle, so I have no takes.
You gotta stay hydrated, man. It's a long day.
Yeah.
It's a long show.
Cheers. This will probably be my last drink of the day, just for the record.
At least until I get home. This is mine also.
Right.
Chad has asked, does Nosferatu have any chance of winning an award tonight?
I think cinematography is a real sleeper.
Yeah,
Real sleeper.
I agree.
Cinematography feels like a really mixed up category right now. There's a sense that there's a lot of momentum for The Brutalist, but if the opposite of what I was saying was true, which is that like The Brutalist bagels tonight, then that's a place where it could go Nosferatu.
How will you feel emotionally if it bagels?
Fine, because
listen, don't make that defensive face at me, okay? We are here talking about our feelings.
You're right. Obviously, The Brutalist getting shut out would be great for The Brutalist because it would mean it would be more likely to become a legendary movie the way that so many in the past have. A lot of people have been texting me about that over the weekend, which is like when The Brutalist loses, does this speed up the process by which it becomes a lost classic? And yes, that is true. That is what often happens at the Academy Awards. Winning Best Picture, not always ideal. I think things started to flip a little bit with Moonlight and Parasite, where we were like, this is the best movie of the year. What do we do about this? And it was confusing, but in the long history of the Academy Awards and Best Picture,
most of the time it's
very
not the best
rarely.
movie. That is true. And we always get a little uncomfortable when we're like, wait, they did the right thing.
The Parasite year, I was like, what is going on? I thought we had slipped into a different reality. Anyhow, okay, Bobby, what's next?
Manuel has asked, who would be your ideal Oscars host if you could pick anyone? What about your choice out of the realistic possibilities for the host job?
So obviously we've talked Mulaney for years.
Yeah, John Mulaney.
We think he's number one draft choice. But in talking about
will he be there tonight? I hope so. The Field of Dreams bit, very good.
I don't know. Obviously, he's a friend to the Academy, hosting the Governor's Ball. Was it last year? I was thinking about this because he's come up so much on the show in the last 6 months, but I think Hugh Grant would be an amazing host.
Yeah.
Like, on the rewatchables, I often talk about how back in the day there would be like 4 incredibly famous people and they would all be hosts. It would be like Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn and Walter Matthau and Bob Hope. Like, these odd accumulations of celebrity. If you put him in one of those spots, given he's quick on his feet, he's a great writer.
Yes,
he's got a whole persona. He's kind of
very
beloved,
sarcastic.
Right, but good for that audience.
Right. I do wonder if he's like a little too dry and British to actually, because you have to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's true.
And Mulaney walks that line very beautifully. Listen, welcome onto the Hugh Grant bandwagon. I have been here for going on 30 years.
You have.
And
it's really more of a last 5 years thing for me, but
I've
been enjoying
31,
his work.
And I think he would be great.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Any other people? Tina and Amy, I think I would really want them to host. No Free Ads, Amy Poehler's podcast coming soon from The Ringer and Spotify.
He's a company man.
He is. Hey, watch Celtic City coming on Monday on HBO Max. That is a documentary, a 9-part documentary series. It's airing on HBO and also available on Max. You can stream it on Max.
Yeah.
It's about the Boston Celtics, which is not a team that I root for, as listeners of this podcast know, but I did work on the series.
Okay.
I'm very proud to be associated with it, and I hope people watch it. No free ads. Who else should host?
Where are you on The Rock these days?
Well,
because that used to be an answer of ours.
The comeback tour has begun.
I know. He was incredibly charming to Zach Barron, my husband. Hi, Zach. I think Cy might be up now and watching.
Okay.
Hi, Cy.
Hello, Cy.
Yeah.
The Rock is going to be in The Smashing Machine this fall,
okay,
which wants to be an Oscar movie. So he won't be hosting next year because he will be in a movie that will be theoretically contending.
Okay.
Benny Safdie's new movie. After maybe.
Okay.
He would be great at the job. His Q rating in Hollywood is very low. He's made a lot of bad movies in a row.
So, 5 years ago, this was your standard answer. Yours in particular. And he was very charming. And then, we had the Black Adam and the Jungle Cruise, of it all.
Yeah.
Moana 2. Yep. Haven't seen it.
It's okay.
Are you the one being like the Moana 2 soundtrack's actually good?
It's underrated.
Okay.
Chi-Hu, are you familiar with that?
I know. I don't really know anything about that.
It's pretty good. It's not the Moana 1 soundtrack.
Yeah.
Is the gold standard.
Yeah.
For the 21st century.
Yeah.
It is Lin-Manuel Miranda reaching into the souls of young children and creating something magical. We
tried Lion King this week.
Okay.
Because Knox is really into The Lion Sleeps Tonight because of A Complete Unknown.
Okay.
And
Weem Away.
Yeah, a Weem Away. Oh, yeah. We sing a lot in the house. And then
Knox just dropped down and sing a Weem Away.
Bob Dylan. And so we put it on because we remembered that I think it's Timon sings it
He does,
at some point.
yeah.
But it turns out that's like 15 seconds of the movie. And we had talked it up as like this whole big thing. We were like, no, it's going to be a wee
Yeah,
way.
that's not the climax of the
And
Lion
then it
King.
ended, and then he was like, can you sing it again? You know? So we just watched that a few times and
It's tough.
then moseyed
It's
on
tough.
off. Yeah.
If you want to ask Alice for some thoughts on the Lion King, she has
Sure.
roughly 5,000.
Well, he was absolutely terrified of Scar and all,
That's scary.
anything
Those
Hyena
hyenas,
Land.
yeah.
He was just like
Shenzi
these
out
vibes
here
are
just-
off, and
yeah.
this is scary. I don't want to watch this. And I know
Definitely.
that that's just where Alice
She lives.
eats.
She
I
loves
know.
a villain. She is a villain.
I'm impressed that she's not scared.
Okay, what comes to us next?
Well, we got to follow up on the hosting question. It
Okay.
comes from Chase. Which Ringer employee would be the best choice to host the Oscars?
CR.
Sure.
CR and Van.
I was gonna
would
say
be
with Bits by
unbelievable.
Van. Yeah,
would be
yeah.
unbelievable. Obviously, two of the most charismatic and
Yes.
funny people that we have here at the Ringer, but also two guys who love movies, who know about movies, which
Yeah.
is a qualification. That's part of the reason why we've been
Mm-hmm.
banging the drum on Mulaney is you get the impression that he watches a lot of movies and he knows a lot about movies, which is always a bonus. Conan O'Brien, incidentally, also a huge movie fan, so I'm hopeful that will turn out well. Other people here? Who else? I always love getting movie commentary from Kate Hallowell. So I think
And
Kate would be
another
good.
like amazing charisma.
She's got great jokes,
Yeah, great fashion
biting
sense.
wit.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know who else.
Van was the first person who popped into my mind.
Okay.
The other thing that I did yesterday besides do bets was like debrief with Van after he watched The Brutalist, which maybe you also had a conversation.
We didn't have a side conversation.
We-
We were on a big text chain.
Yeah, and
a
then-
memorable big picture text
Yes.
chain. A crew.
Yeah, they're providing their feedback right now.
They are, okay.
Mallory, where's your Brutalist feedback? Is what we'd like to know.
Yeah, Mallory said she was watching The Brutalist last night.
Okay.
I don't think. Gosh, would you want to host an award show? Would you want to host an award show with me?
Sure. I don't
Okay.
think the Oscars. You know.
I don't think we're qualified for that. That would be odd.
I still think that we should be in the Academy, but that's different.
We should
you
be
know?
in the Academy
Yeah. I think they should extend it to
based
us.
on what work that we've done.
Listen, who cares more about the Oscars than
true.
us?
That's true. We do care a
Who's
lot.
doing more to advocate?
I know we do care a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
I don't
show
know.
up everywhere saying
Okay.
we love the Oscars.
Well, if the Academy is watching, I'm sure they don't have anything else going on at the moment. Feel free to give us a shout. We want to join and host. I'm sure that will be easy to accomplish. Okay, Bobby, what's next?
Got a question here from Abnish. If you could guarantee only one win tonight, what would you use that guarantee on?
Zoe Saldana.
No. Like that's who you
I
think. Yeah.
I think the question is asking if you had the power to
yeah,
guarantee
to give
Oh.
one person an
one
award. Yeah.
award.
Like not what's the biggest
Oh,
loss.
Guy Pearce, the Brutalist.
Yeah.
That would be my number one.
Oh, that's a good one. But
Yeah.
but it can be to anyone, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Guy Pearce and the
Sean,
Brutalist.
you'd still use it for Zoe Saldana, even if it could be for anyone?
I completely misunderstood the question. Turned out to be a wonderful mistake.
Hey, now we're live.
It's nice sitting with the Queen of El Mal right here.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mal. What does El Mal mean?
The bad.
Is
The
that what it
evil?
means?
The evil?
Isn't Mal bad in French?
Is it not? I mean,
It's bad in both languages.
thank you.
But I thought-
Okay.
I thought
Listen, I mean,
the-
the romance languages. I did take some Spanish.
But doesn't there need to be like? Isn't it El Malo or El Mala? in Spanish?
I'm
No?
sure.
Am I crazy?
I think
No,
it,
I'm wrong?
I
Okay.
think it's.
I'm happy to be wrong.
Listen, I am not an expert by any means.
Are you not?
Much to my
Wow,
dismay.
you are fired.
I think it probably has something to do with not good. You know,
I see.
that's. I think that's.
I see.
But I don't know about conjugations or such.
What? So who would you want if you could guarantee a victory? Don't say Diane Warren for your bracket.
I don't think that I would say that. I'm scrolling through right now. I don't know, like anything that I feel that passionate about. I really like Anora.
I mean,
Oh, well, I know what I would do. I would guarantee Sean Baker so I can redecorate your garage.
are you feeling nervous? I feel like you
Yeah,
might be
of
feeling
course.
a little nervous.
Of course I am.
We don't. Did you go back and look at your picks for Big Oscar Bet?
No, because what Bobby told us is that it comes down to director.
But can you trust Bobby's math? Is really the important
Yeah, I
question.
do. I trust Bobby's math.
Okay. All right.
So I'm nervous.
You are nervous.
You know, yeah, of course. I
And
told Katie that Brady Corbet would be good value in Best Director.
Mm-hmm.
So I and I don't remember what I have to do if I lose, but I don't
you have
like
to
losing.
stand in front of one shelf of physical media and say, in all sincerity,
Yeah.
with a smile on your face,
This
you have
is
a wonderful
important.
smile. Wonderful smile. Not this is important. It's so beautiful in here. And you have to say it with a sense of wonder.
I love plastic.
No, that's not the line. That is not the line. And any line that is not the line will be cut from the edit.
Is this going to be like a Fincher thing where you can make her do it 100 times till it's to your
Thank
satisfaction?
you for
Oh,
saying
wow.
that, Bobby. I appreciate that. You know, I watched Panic Room on 4K this weekend.
Why?
God, it looked amazing. Because I've been waiting 20 years for them to put it out on Blu-ray. And they did. They finally did.
That's great.
It is great.
David Fincher, one of our great American directors.
He's the greatest. You know what? Put The Killer on Blu-ray, you cowards. I'm talking to you, Netflix. Netflix Corporation. Put The Killer on 4K. What's stopping you? Nothing. Do it. Okay. What's next?
Kelly asks, if Dune Part 2 was released later in the year, would the awards race look any different right now?
I think so. And furthermore,
Furthermore.
I think if Warner Brothers was more active in clarifying that this is the one to award with a campaign that spoke to that, the same way that Honora right now, the campaign for Honora is like follow your heart. That's literally what it's telling voters to do.
Okay.
Which is not the message of Honora.
No.
The message of Honora is if you follow your heart, you will be abandoned and
But, like,
destroyed by oligarchs.
What is the Dune Part 2, come to that? Like, the third one's too weird, Like,
you don't
what
acknowledge that there is a third one. You say that the rise to power is the ultimate achievement. Like, you have to pretend like there is no third movie.
That's not the lesson of Dune Part 2.
But that's the point, is you always lie in the campaign.
Okay.
Honor the man, honor the film. What was that about? About a guy who was like a code breaker? What was that campaign for? You know what I'm saying?
I really don't think that it would have made any difference. I don't understand just the total resistance to Dune Part 2. I mean, I
is
guess
silly.
they gave it like a Best Picture nod and like a couple craft awards, but
Yep.
not even that many. Denis never stood a chance, which
did
is rude.
I would guess he
think.
finished in like 8th or 9th in that
Yeah.
voting.
And it just seems like no one's really paying attention.
I think that they pulled back majorly on the campaign, and so even when Dune Part 1 came out, I did not speak to Denis Villeneuve on the show when it came out. I talked to him in the fall around award season
Right.
because they made a real push
Yeah.
around the movie. He did way less press. Hans Zimmer did less press because he wasn't nominated. Like, there was a lot of things that weren't
But
happening.
Part 1 also, I mean, it was day and date, which, and then there was an angry letter. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it was in the fall, right? Or was it in the summer?
I think it was earlier in the year. Yeah. No. You're
No, it
you're
was
right.
the summer.
It was
Just because
September.
I remember, I'm just tracking it.
No, you're right. It was September.
Yeah.
It was September.
Okay.
Or maybe even October. But I saw it in September because I saw it right before driving to Telluride. That was one of the craziest days of my life.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. My daughter was 9 weeks old.
No, I remember.
And
yeah.
I went to go see Dune Part 1 at 9 a.m. at Warner Brothers and then got in a car and drove 12 hours to Telluride.
It must have been even later than. So, Bob, when did Dune Part 1 come out?
Dune Part 1.
I
Let's
mean,
see.
October 7th, 2021.
Let's see.
I believe
October
it
22nd.
went wide on the 22nd.
Yeah, it went wide. October 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah, it was later because I remember our friend Mina being really psyched to watch it on HBO Max on Thanksgiving, and they had pulled it by then.
Those were the bad days.
Well,
that was not a good plan, and
Yeah.
that kind of broke theaters.
Listen,
I'm not going to do that whole thing.
There was a
but
global pandemic. That's all
There
I'll say.
was?
We just we can't undo it. So
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
It's a good question. I appreciate that question about Dune.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to believe that strategized differently, it could have done better because when that movie came out, everyone I know who saw it was like, that was very good. I don't know anybody who was like, that sucked.
No, it was great.
So, you're not the biggest sci-fi fan, and you were totally,
it's
Joanna was very fond of saying this over the years,
yeah.
over the last year to us, where she was like, how often does the Ringerverse crew, me and you, CR, like all of us were kind of all together seeing that movie, and we all loved it. Not that we're representative of the Academy, but we're big movie fans.
Yeah.
And so it was a convergence of our tastes. So it's disappointing. And it's the number one thing I've heard from people who listen to the show over the last couple of months, which is like, why in the world is this movie not competing? part of it is the timeline, part of it is the campaign, part of it is sci-fi. There's a variety of factors, and part of it is what you said, which is that this is a 3-movie franchise, and people are waiting for the very weird third film, Dune Messiah.
Have you read that Wikipedia page yet?
I have not, and I will not.
Okay.
And I don't want you to spoil anything for me, especially not here right now. Don't do it. I'll be very mad if you do it. Robert?
We got a question from None Your Business, who'd like to remain anonymous, apparently. Good question, though. What's the best way to convince casual movie friends and family that the Oscars still has relevance? You have 48 minutes here to convince people that it's still relevant before it starts.
I mean, it's not. Right? Like, it's fun.
Yeah.
But what does relevant mean? What's relevant right
If they
now?
don't care, I can't make them care.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
The fact that they still know what it is, they don't know what most things are. You know, nobody knows what most things are. So if you at least know, I mean, a lot of people, including my dad, didn't realize the Oscars were today. So that's a tough break.
Not ideal.
But that's
considering you've turned over a significant portion of your career and life to the
that's
Academy
like
Awards.
That's White Lotus's fault. You know, that's not like it's the calendar. It's weird, and they do keep changing it. That's the other.
To me, the Oscars matter. Are they relevant? There's a difference.
This is like, but my favorite of the the little social clips that we put up was you being like, Conclave has a real chance, and you're like, well, it won BAFTAs and SAG. You can't say that doesn't matter. It does matter, and we really honestly should have just pulled that as a tagline.
I believe when we were speaking in that episode, I told you I am a broadcaster. I was broadcasting. I think that the Academy
matters.
The Academy Awards matter because they can shine a light on something that is not in the mainstream and make it a part of the mainstream. That is a very powerful tool. This is still a show that airs on ABC, and now this year Hulu. It's in theory available to hundreds of millions of people, and it is only focused on one thing, which is the medium of filmmaking. That's all that it is. It's not about movies and TV. It's not about the recording industry, which is available in multi-formats. This is movies. That's all they do. And they almost never acknowledge movies that are streaming. It's about movies that are playing in movie theaters. So in that very specific way, this is a medium that's mattered for over 100 years in this country and around the world. It can do great things for people's careers, for their livelihood, for the future of cinema. It's just not relevant as much as it used to be because nothing is. Everything has been shrunk down, aside from football, as you said. Broadcast television has shrunk down significantly. I think the consideration of people who make movies has shrunk down. I don't think there's a lot of empathy for rich people in Hollywood. People don't care about those people as much as they used to 30 years ago when we were kids and we were like, oh God, Meryl Streep and Tom Cruise and Steven Spielberg, gee willikers. People don't think that way anymore. They're like, fuck that guy. I'm on YouTube too. So, and look at me now, Mom. So I think there's no change. My gut is there's no changing it. There's no reclaiming.
Yeah,
relevance.
I mean, you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Yeah.
But I do think also everything is shrunken down. There is no center of culture anymore. But the Oscars hold more people's attention than most things. And we care about movies. So, I mean, this is the other thing. How do you convince your friends and family who don't care about movies to care about movies? You don't. Or you can try, and then you can be sitting across from my mother at Christmas dinner being like, I read Conclave, the airport novel. Why do I need to see the movie? But
the only thing in a worse spot than movies right now is books. So, that's not...
That's not true. But it's just good books.
I don't know.
Colleen Hoover is just printing that money.
Just see Plain English hosted by Derek Thompson. People don't read. That's a whole other conversation.
I mean, but they listen to Colleen Hoover
true.
books. There were set photos released of Anne Hathaway and Josh Hartnett on the set of a Colleen Hoover adaptation, which is just, I have a lot of feelings.
The cinematic event of the year for the big picture.
Yeah, I'm not really sure about the costume choices thus far. Anyway.
Let's see. Are they dressed like us right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Bobby, what's the next question? How's the chat going? What's the vibe in there?
Yeah.
The vibe is very excited and very happy. They love your outfits.
Respectful?
A lot. Respectful.
Yeah.
A lot of nice folks in the Dobb mob who have come in from their hobbies.
I was going to say, what
sit in
did
front of
people
the
do this
live
morning? Were they outside?
How did they know how to boot up their laptops? Is this their
Amanda's,
first time on YouTube?
Printing press manual that she sent out to them individually because it doesn't want to live on the cloud. That's for sure. We got a question from Dylan. How big of a problem are the stories about Academy members not actually watching everything before voting? seems like a major credibility issue.
How big of a problem?
Well,
I mean,
it's not
relative
good.
to what? War around the world? It's not a problem. It's the way it's always been.
Yes. I think maybe the more behind the scenes, like I don't know, like the more media there is and the more like assholes like us there are just talking about stuff, I guess the more punctures in the armor there are, but like they've never watched this stuff. We have been not, very respectful about the average Academy voter for many years.
Yes.
It does frustrate me because they've made it easier than ever to watch the things. Like I have never actually seen the Academy
I have seen the
portal.
Academy
I've heard
portal.
tell.
Yeah.
And it's
Just another streaming service, basically. Everything is in front of you. It's easy to navigate.
Yeah, but that actually is pretty magical if you're trying to watch things as we do.
Yeah.
Because we do this for a living
Sure.
and we take it seriously.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm jealous and a little annoyed when they don't want to do it. I just, also, if you're not going to do it, then give me your vote. Just let me.
You really want in.
Listen, I have some natural confidence. I think I know
yeah.
what's right.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
just
you do.
let me do it. I'm
Okay.
paying attention. I'm doing the work.
Yeah.
They're not doing the work.
Her mind.
Yeah,
But Amanda.
there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't feel the strong need to be in the Academy particularly. I do think it's unfortunate if people don't watch the movies, but that's been true for decades and decades. And I think, on a personal level, I love the movie The Brutalist. It's not surprising to me to hear all these reports of people who are like, I got it 30 minutes in, or I never even started it, or whatever. But like that didn't stop, epics 30 years ago from getting recognized. It's a different time. It's a different time. Do you think more people watched Flow because it was like 81 minutes?
No, I think more people watched it because it had like a friendly cat and they built a statue,
Okay, cool.
People like cats. Lot of very animated Flow talk in our big picture extended universe chat yesterday.
Do you like cats?
Sure.
She said enthusiastically. All right. What's next, Robert?
Gabby asked if you had to swap lives with one character in a Best Picture nom.
I thought there was going to be
Who
with
would it
Sean,
be?
and I was like, fuck.
What do you mean? The fuck is that?
Sean's living the dream.
My life
10
is
out of 10
incredible.
right
Am
here.
I allowed to curse on the live stream? Sorry if I'm not.
Of course.
What do you think? Like the FCC is gonna
I
bust the
don't
door
know.
now? We're on YouTube, haven't you
Watch
heard?
out,
YouTube's
Doge.
a free
You
speech
never know what can
platform.
happen.
I don't know. What if my child's watching?
Swap lives with any of the characters?
I think it's up to you. I mean, did you want to swap lives with like the building from The Brutalist?
Well, that's interesting. That would be quite an existence. I would stand forever. Concrete, as we know, is strong material. It's all
Right.
about material. I don't have a lot of admiration for a lot of the humans.
I would definitely swap with Bob Dylan. Seems
Okay.
like things are going well for him.
Yeah, he's got it good.
Yeah.
He's doing well.
He's a genius.
Uh-huh.
Does what he wants.
Yes.
Had a house in Malibu, at least for a long time. I don't know about the current status.
Had a house in Malibu. That's the third thing that you've said about Bob Dylan.
I said number one, he's a genius.
Okay.
And does whatever he wants.
Bob Dylan's a good answer. Gosh. I mean, being Lisan Al-Gaib feels momentous.
Well,
A lot of
you should
responsibility.
probably read the Wikipedia page for part 3.
Okay, that's ominous. Who seems to have it nice is Flo Pugh's character from Dune Part 2.
I
The
don't
princess?
think she's nominated.
Oh, only the nominees.
And also it was a political marriage, so
Well, I think that you can choose anyone from any of the Best Picture nominees based on how the question was worded.
okay, thank you, Bob. All right, so then let me think through that.
Many of these films are epic tragedies. Like I'm Still Here and The Brutalist. Like you don't want to be any of those
No.
people. They're living hard lives. So that's a curious question. It's not like which X-Men would you want to be? I'll be Wolverine. Amanda, you be.
Yeah.
Who would you be? Psylocke.
What's Jean Grey?
Phoenix?
Yeah.
No. Jean Grey.
Oh, she's not the Phoenix? She becomes
she's
the
both,
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's both.
Yeah, and she's like too powerful, so the story doesn't make sense.
Do you think we're going to be
What's that
doing
other guy
do you
that
think-
eats the world? Galactus? Thank you so much. I'm a proud listener of the Watch podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. What's the next question?
I was just gonna nominate maybe one of Yvonne's pals from Honora. You know, you just get to hang out with a Russian billionaire and just do stuff for free.
I mean, one of those guys got his whole world fucked up. 'Cause he was
Yeah.
working in that candy shop, and that got just messed up by your Borisov. That wasn't ideal.
That's true.
It seems high stress.
Maybe one of the ones who's at the party though. That'd be all right. I
Is
think you
now
could
a
live
good
with
time
that.
to say that I haven't eaten any food today, and so one
Nothing?
cocktail just hit super hard. I had one Cliff Bar and a piece of dry toast at 7 a.m.
What? So then what happened in between? Like, what were you doing this morning?
Raising my child.
Yeah, but that can't
Looking at
involve
the internet.
food?
I don't know. I was trying to stay fresh.
We had
you know?
we had special breakfast, as Knox calls it.
We had?
Yeah, our whole family
Where
went to
was I?
breakfast together. I don't know.
Did I get a phone call? Did I get a text?
You never come when we text you.
What are you
so-
talking? Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I bailed on the last couple. Okay, we have time for like 2 more questions. I don't want any more questions about which character I would fight from a movie that's nominated, Bobby.
Okay, that's fine. There was only one question about those, but that's fine. Chat, you know, let's step it up. We got a question from Ryan here. Of all the movies in Best Picture, which one will we be talking about the most 25 years from now? Call your shot.
Oh, I know what
here.
he's gonna say.
What do you think?
I'm looking. Let's see.
Follow your heart. Honor the man. Honor the film.
Okay, I'll do that. I mean, I think it would be Honora or The Brutalist.
I think those are the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it will be Honora, probably because Honora's going to win and have a big night, putting my serious face on. And when it wins a lot of awards, it will become further cemented as a major film, and a major film for Sean Baker, and probably catapult Mikey Madison to a level of fame. There's a lot of anticipation about what she's going to do next. On the other hand, as I said before, the like big snub for the big movie tends to lead to a lot of historicizing about the movie. You know, the like Alfred
Right,
Hitchcock
yeah,
never
of
won
course.
Best Director, Stanley Kubrick never won Best
Yeah,
Director,
yeah,
all that
yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff. You know, like that does happen, and it especially happens when you have like very passionate fans about a movie like this. And there is a lot of brutal boys and girls. There just is. It could become clear to me. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people who also really don't like the movie and have a lot of problems with it and find it incredibly annoying that we say things like brutal boys and girls. But
And
I
then
don't know.
there are the intellectuals who like the good parts.
who are they? I've yet to meet one. Any other possibilities that could make the cut there?
I mean, in a different way, Dune Part 2.
Yeah, I think it
Who
probably
is
depends.
we and what
Yeah.
are the conversations?
Well, I guess
I mean, isn't that always the question? Also, Nickel Boys, you know?
That's,
As, like,
I was gonna say the more high-minded answer is Nickel Boys,
Yeah.
which has a chance to be like culturally, historically significant.
Right.
And some of it depends on what Ramel Ross does, and some of it depends on how that movie is kind of protected over time. You know, it's an Amazon movie, and so I find that the streaming movies are not preserved in the same way all the time. So I have some doubts about whether or not it gets like elevated historically, but that movie's a huge achievement. So we'll see. You want to do one more?
yeah.
Yeah, well, this is a good one to end on here. Elliot asks, what's going to be the official runtime? Over under 3.5 hour Oscars. And I guess more broadly, just your feelings on the state of the Oscars runtime these days as they've tried to rein it in and start an hour earlier.
3:21.
Good guess.
So I guess that's under 3.5, but just barely.
3:21 would get us out of there at 7:21
Yeah.
and get us into
In
this
here.
room at 7:30.
Okay.
What do you think?
West Coast privilege.
I mean, that is one of the number one reasons to be living in California today.
Yep. Helpful for football.
Yeah.
Helpful for
I mean,
award
the
shows.
4 p.m. of it all, I don't think anyone knows that it starts at 4 p.m. We had to double check that like a week ago. Our friend Izzy went to an Oscars party last year, and she was the only person aware of the early start time.
She showed up early.
Yeah, and showed up early and was just like, hey. So I think they could do better messaging on that.
Okay.
And also, you know, we got here, we started our cocktails at 2:30 in the afternoon. But that's okay.
I might be asleep soon.
You know,
You never know.
quick nap before the show starts.
Not a bad idea. I think over 3.5.
You do.
I think we're in for some long speeches.
Oh, okay.
I think Conan has a lot of bits planned.
Okay.
I believe these are first-time producers, which means you
Okay.
are not road tested in this environment.
They also produced the Grammys, which are like
They did.
14 hours long.
I was going to say usually a very long show.
Yeah.
Also, no musical performances from the nominees, but there might be musical performances we don't know about, a la Wicked and
I
otherwise.
think Wicked was confirmed.
Confirmed by whom?
Generally, I don't know if they're opening the
Confirmed
show.
by generally?
No, just like well, I guess the Academy. I think it's pretty sure. I don't know if they're opening the show.
Okay.
More power to them.
I think it should be 5 hours.
Yeah, over
not?
3 nights.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
What else are you doing? You know how much time I spend just like sitting on a couch,
I'm not doing anything.
not doing anything?
Well, that's not true. I'm doing a lot of things, but in terms of like, I'm watching the Oscars for as long as they're airing because it's my job. Most people are not.
What about
so?
Because you love it?
I do really like them, but if it were over 2 nights and it weren't our job, I would probably just do the Sunday recap and then watch Sunday night.
What do you think about the Olympics?
Just like broadly speaking.
Well,
you know?
because the Olympics
Think of,
is
like
like-
competing.
No,
You know,
the Olympics is
nations come together.
No, it's like
The
18
greatest
days.
of humanity.
No, it's 18 days, and people are just like, yeah, pop in, check it out. See what Simone Biles is up to tonight in this exercise.
Yeah, but I think most people, and I myself, triangulated like, when is Simone Biles being shown on the streaming service that I pay, that I actually have access
But
to.
think about it like this: like, oh, the Shorts Awards are on right now. Like, I don't, and they're showing all the shorts.
Right.
So you can watch the shorts in succession, and then they'll give it the award. I don't really want to watch that. That's okay.
Okay.
Don't watch it.
Okay.
But Best Actor is hitting.
Okay.
You tune in. That's the Simone Biles portion of the Academy Awards.
How much do the
think it
Olympics
should be-
cost?
I don't-
NBC?
Let me be frank with you. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit.
Okay.
That doesn't matter at all. This is the biggest night in
It's like,
Hollywood.
I don't know if we have the kind of the budget and programming for like 18 nights. And plus, I think that
Who
you
doesn't?
should star in the opening ceremony, and you can
Happily.
reenact the Brutalist in the center of SoFi Stadium for everyone.
I would be happy to do that. And I would say is everything that is cruel and ugly and stupid and especially ugly is your fault.
Thank you.
Are you excited? Feel ready? It's
Yeah.
3:29.
I'm excited.
We gotta go sit down in a theater chair. You're gonna be posting
I
live to
was
social
just
media.
thinking like maybe I'm gonna go live right now.
just full
Just
IG
like for
live.
like 5 minutes.
Wow,
I
you
don't know.
You love to be accessible to the people. You want them to see you.
Yeah, I like to get in the mix, what else are we doing?
Okay.
Like, I'm going to put sweatpants on because I'm afraid I'm going to tear these pants.
Okay.
And then we've got like 25 minutes. We got to order dinner. What
We
do you want
gotta
to have for
order
dinner?
Scotch.
Okay, great. Okay. This is
I
very
want
healthy as
sushi.
always.
We did sushi
Well, yeah,
last time.
I assumed that we would
Sushi
do
not
sushi
too
as well.
heavy.
I
Elegant,
agree.
tasteful.
Yes, much like myself.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure, El Mal. Hey, I just want to say thank you to Bobby Wagner for helping out with this live stream, to John Richter for helping us out so far, for Corey McConnell for helping us out so
Yes.
far.
Bon voyage to our pal Jack Sanders.
Jack Sanders decided
Have a-
to bail
No,
right before
that's
the
not
Academy
true.
Awards.
That was
Classic move.
I blame corporate. That's what I
Okay,
have to
okay.
say. Jack is going to have a lovely trip to Sweden,
Yes.
and we love him, and we
Yes.
want him to enjoy Sweden.
He is going to a Swedish prison right now. So, Jack, good luck with all of your travels. Good luck to everyone in your Oscar pools. Thank you so much for joining us all the way in the lead up to the Academy Awards tonight. Have fun. We will be back after the show, not live, but we'll be recording, and we'll have our show out as quickly as possible for you. I hope we have a great show, Amanda.
I hope so too.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in. We'll
Bye,
see you
guys.
soon.